Your palate is like a dustbin. Good morning, I'm Mike Graham, he's Mike Parry, you're listening to the warm-up on Talk Sport. It's Jose against Arsenal all over again, only this time it's at Old Trafford where Wenger hasn't won in the Premier League for 10 years. But all the talk today is about Wayne Rooney and why the FA didn't look after him properly. Here's what Mourinho had to say.
One day, if I become a national team manager, I will try. I'm not saying that I'll be successful on that, and I'm not being critical with Gary and with anyone.
You're not being critical of Gary. Jose can't even get Southgate's name right. Is he going to be Mr. Happy or Mr. Grumpy at full time? 08717 223344. Coming up, we'll be having our 1 minute moan as well, something that's upset us over the course of the last week. And of course, we'll be previewing Ian Holloway's first game in charge at QPR. Who are you? You're listening to The Two Mikes with me, Mike Graham, and Mike Parry on Talk Sport. This is Talk Sport. We are the Two Mikes, and it is, of course, the warm-up coming up at 12:30. Manchester United against Arsenal. It's going to be a fascinating game. Will Wayne Rooney be playing? It's time to say a very good morning to Mr. Mike Porky Parry. Very good morning to you, Mr. Parry.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Yeah, good morning, Mike.
Good
and
morning.
I'll tell you what, I hope Bobcat Bob is going to be in full... what's the word I'm looking for? Remission mode this evening, because I do want Everton to get a result today. We got walloped 5-0 last time we were out against Chelsea. That was a very, very unhappy day. 2 weeks have gone by, and we've got to take it out on Swansea. And I'm sorry, that means that for Bobcat Bob, you got to push the envelope.
He's going to be getting the P45.
Get the P45.
Well, I mean, if he leaves Everton without any points, he's got to be very, very close to the chop, hasn't he?
Well, I think so. How do these guys get under my radar? He's going to have to.
I mean, it's going to be a great day.
It's
going to be a great day for sort of managerial entertainment, because we have Wenger and Mourinho, who almost certainly are going to have some kind of dust-up in a technical area during the course of 90 minutes up at Old Trafford.
Sure.
I think, personally, that Arsenal may win, because I don't think Manchester United got it, but we shall see. But the big question is Wayne Rooney going to be playing?
Well, that is a big question, and I'm going to see if we can find out before the actual game itself or the team announcement.
We'll probably find out before the game starts, won't we? Once they announce the team, we'll probably find out. I'm hoping we might find out before they announce
That's
the
what
team.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We have our spies in the sort of Manchester United camp, so to speak, and we'll see if we can find out what's going on.
Do you think at the moment they're sweeping the general dressing room area clear of bottles just in case anybody slips on one and falls over?
It's quite a remarkable
Isn't
story
that
that he twinged his knee. I don't think it was serious, because apparently he is fit for selection today. But he twinged his knee by coming out the shower and stepping on a bottle. What was the bottle doing, lying around on the floor of the England dressing room?
Well, but also, I mean, considering this type of injury that any player could suffer if they slip on something like that, I mean, that's incredibly careless of the FA, isn't it? And I have some sympathy for Mourinho when he says, they didn't look after our property very well.
Well, I mean, I don't know whether he's got a point there or not. Maybe he has. I mean, the FA failed Rooney. One headline this morning, Jose defends captain over boozing row, which will play Wayne Rooney out for the rest of his career. It's a terrible shame, really, because he's had such an immaculate and amazing career. And it's pity that it's kind of blighted here. But he'll get over it, because he's got over a lot of other things in his life.
But I mean, that's the big question as well. And I know we've talked about Wayne Rooney an awful lot in the last few days here on Talk Sport.
Well, you have to, because he's the centre of attention.
Yeah, he's the England captain. So, as far as we know, at the moment, he's the England captain. He may not be come the next game, because Gareth Southgate supposedly wants to get rid of him. But what do you think went into his head? Because he has, as you say, been quite a diligent player. He's always played when he can. He's never tried to get out of games. He's played in friendlies. He's played every time he gets the chance. Suddenly he decides to completely ignore the advice that he's got from the top man at England, Gareth Southgate, to go home and go to bed. I wonder why he did that.
Well, you see, this is very interesting. Somebody's tried to do a minute-by-minute breakdown this morning of what happened that night in the hotel. I mean, there's some very strange facts here. For instance, the game was played on Friday night. So you would have thought, really, the boys had gone celebrating that night rather than the following night, Saturday, when they were having a day off.
Right.
That's the strangest thing, in my view. And I do know, I mean, it's common knowledge that when Wayne's away on international duty or with Manchester United, Colleen often goes to Barbados, doesn't she? You often see her going there with her children, and they've got a villa there and all that. So maybe she was away. Maybe for that reason Wayne decided to stay in the hotel. Maybe he didn't go home to his family like some others did. But but
still, I mean, he must have been in this situation many times before. And as far as we're aware, he's never disobeyed the orders.
I wonder. No, of course not. But I wonder whether when you're with England teammates, it's different to being with Manchester United teammates, to whom you're much closer, obviously, because you play with them you train with them on a day-to-day basis. But the strangest thing for me, and this might haunt Gareth Southgate, right? You know,
Gary.
Gary is you're saying a good Gary. Yeah, does nobody ever call him Gary? I don't think
it's not his name.
It's not his name.
Gary and Gareth are completely different names.
It's true.
I mean, this is Mourinho winding him up, I suspect. He knows his name is Gareth, sure.
Yeah, I think he probably is. But according to this detailed report, one senior coach or backroom staff, not senior coach, member of the backroom staff, still senior, I suppose, goes to... Now, you know what it's set up as in this hotel, Mike? We've seen it before. In a lot of good hotels, there's a separate block, and it's called the exclusive rooms or something like that.
I'd like to say a lot of good hotels that we go to, but unfortunately, whenever you book them, you seem to book us into the worst hotel in whichever town we happen to be doing a live show in.
Certainly the Adelphi in Liverpool.
That wasn't good.
I will never go to again.
And, of course, the one in Rugby, which was named after the five-star hotel in Chester.
The Grosvenor, yeah.
The Grosvenor, it wasn't anything like 5 stars.
No, but you know...
not even 1 star. And then, of course, there was the Whitley Bay Hotel that didn't even have a bar.
Well, it didn't, but it was a pleasant hotel. And, I mean, so just because it didn't have a bar doesn't make it a bad hotel person.
Well, it does as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I know, as far as you're concerned. But no, by the way, there's a mix-up on the bills at the Adelphi as well.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, we've been paying double bills.
What, so we paid them twice?
Well, I'm sure it's administrative error, but we paid for one of the rooms twice. Yeah,
really?
Yeah. You know, this idea, that's just a card to secure your room, and then it's paid on some other bill.
Well,
and
it was
then
only
next
about
morning
12 quid a room, wasn't it?
No, it's 85 quid a room,
what?
Believe it or not.
Somebody actually posted on Twitter
the
day that we left Liverpool and moaned about the fact that the hotel was awful and dreadful, that you could actually get a room there for 12 quid.
Well, we got mugged off then because we paid 85.
Well, no surprise there.
No surprise there. Anyway, look.
Well done.
So this particular member of the coaching staff, goes to see Gary.
Yeah.
Gareth.
Gary.
In the executive rooms, in the exclusive
rooms. Or Pep
rooms.
Southgate, as we like to call him.
Pep Southgate, as we call him, earnestly stroking his beard and nodding like Sir Francis Drake. That's right, yeah. Well, I've been tasked with the duty of... Yeah, that means I've been given the job.
I've been having a great time.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
I bet he hasn't really enjoyed it the last few days.
Anyway, listen, let me just finish.
Yes.
So he goes back and he says to Gareth, he said, the boys are gathered around the piano and Wayne's sitting at the piano and they're starting to attract a little bit of attention to themselves. And Gareth says, well, can you go and, as subtly as you can, just shepherd them back here and get them back here because obviously I don't want to be, throwing my weight around. This is what he apparently said. I don't want to be, demonising myself and with my players. I've done, and he particularly said Wayne's been a brilliant leader of men since he took over for the 4 games.
And on the show we did on Friday, you read out a quote you gave to Martin Samuel in which he talked about, players must be responsible.
Exactly.
They have to behave properly, appropriately, and if they don't, they get sent home.
They get sent home, absolutely right. So, anyway, the guy goes back and presumably failed to break this up. Phil Jagielka was involved, Everton player, obviously. Yep. And now, I wonder in years to come whether Gareth Southgate will say, why didn't I just go through and just have a laugh and a shout with the lads and then shepherd them to bed?
Well, this is the thing that makes or breaks managers, makes or breaks reputations. How do you manage the players? How do you get it right?
Well, I mean, look, I thought, the minute I saw that indecision, I thought, wow, I remember how the Falklands War started. The British...
Is that why you thought of that?
I did, yeah. The British ambassador to Argentina heard that a group of scrap metal merchants had landed on South Georgia. And when he made an inquiry with the Argentinian government, was told, sorry about that, we'll ask them to leave. Right. And then didn't tell people in London. Right. I mean, it's the same sort of thing, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And what happened? A catastrophic
didn't make the call.
Series of events then unfolded, which led to the Falklands War, which actually...
So when do you think this is going to end? And to carry on the analogy, now that Gareth Southgate didn't get Wayne Rooney to go to bed, what are you talking about? Where's it going to go?
Well, I think where it's going to go is that there's now an absolute forensic examination of where Wayne Rooney goes next. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
And where his relationship with both Gareth Southgate and England goes next. And do you know what? I think it could have been avoided, really.
I think it could all have been avoided.
Thing, you know what I mean?
It could all have been avoided. I've got a tweet here from Keith who says, my ex-brother-in-law's name was Gareth and he was always called Gary.
Oh, really?
Well, maybe that's why he's your ex-brother-in-law, mate, because you didn't call him by the right name.
Absolutely.
It's not Gary, it's Gareth.
It's not. I mean, would you call a man, who are you?
Who are you?
If you knew his name.
Yeah, well, exactly. Just over an hour to go until Manchester United kick off against Arsenal, of course. It's Jose Mourinho against Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger hasn't won at Old Trafford in the Premier League for 10 years.
Are you seeing these images on our interior screens of
which ones?
The Arsenal team arriving at Manchester United?
Yes.
Of course, you've never walked down the tunnel at Old Trafford, have you?
I have not, no.
No.
Why, have you?
Of course.
Oh, really? Is that why you bring it up?
Well, I just thought I would, because I can explain the experience.
Were you supposed to be there, or did you just sort of found yourself there on your way back from the hospitality section?
No. I was going out onto the pitch to take the penalties in the penalty competition that I beat.
You were the only one, were you?
I beat Alvin Martin in. Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Well, more or less meaning no. I mean, presumably it wasn't just you against Alvin Martin.
There were a few officials around me and a few of my acolytes and that kind of stuff, you know what I mean?
Okay. And how many years ago was this?
Well, it was during the glory years of Old Trafford, and I got a huge draw as I came out, of course, onto the pitch and all that kind of stuff.
That's when you wore a Manchester United top, wasn't
I had to, I'm afraid, to my shame.
So it shows your absolute craven need for publicity overarches anything that you might mean in terms of loyalty to your football club, Everton.
That's
because
very harsh.
You should not have ever worn a Manchester United top unless you're a Manchester United fan.
It's very harsh.
Should you?
It's an amazing tunnel. There's only professional footballer like Tony Cass or somebody will tell you, because it's as wide as a motorway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it starts right at the back of the ground and comes all the way through, if you see what I mean. A lot of tunnels just start downstairs, don't they, and come up, but no, it's...
Well, if you say so. I mean, I have walked out with a Bournemouth tunnel with you when we went down to go onto the pitch at Bournemouth and then hung around for a bit too long.
Yeah, and John Stones gave us a funny look, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And so did Leighton Baines. He had a 100-yard stare.
Yeah, he did.
He was looking at us like, what the hell are you two doing here?
He probably thought we were going to be one of them jokers who gets on the edge of the picture, you know what I mean? The pre-game
the photo bombing, Now, talk about pre-game photo bombing. There's going to be some fascinating stuff going on down at Loftus Road this afternoon. 3 o'clock. QPR are taking on Norwich, right? Now, everybody will remember it's a long time ago, 2005, when Delia Smith was talking to the crowd at half-time because they were losing to Manchester City, Norwich, right?
Yeah.
And, she was doing, where are you? Where are you? And all this kind of thing. Westby Avenue. And, of course, now we've got the outburst from Mr. Holloway. Who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you?
Who are you?
I can imagine it'll sound something like this.
Where are you? Who are you?
Who are you? Where are you?
Where are you?
There's one difference there. I think Delia had been on the cooking sherry.
Yes.
With apologies if you hadn't, Delia.
I don't think there was much doubt about it.
Well, okay, and I don't think Ian Holloway had been.
No,
he needs to be actually.
Well, I think I don't think he does. I mean, he gave his first press conference and immediately launched into the FA.
Yes,
an incredible sort of stinging attack about why they hadn't given Gary Southgate the job.
Yeah,
I thought what's going on.
Yeah, what's going on? Give him a job.
Give him a job. Who are you? Now, coming up, of course, we've got loads and loads of goals going in on Match Day Live with Adrian Dunn. We'll be talking to him a little bit later on. But I've got some very serious things I have to talk to you about.
Oh, really? What's that?
Including the fact that Maltesers have become the latest victim
that's very
of
serious.
the chocolate shortage.
Yeah.
Well, it's very serious. We're coming up to Christmas, right? Now, you know, famously, that you buy loads and loads of sort of selection boxes.
They're getting smaller every year.
Of things.
They are literally getting smaller every year, I'm telling you. Same price. So they can put up the £5 sign, you know what I mean? Roses, mixtures, or whatever that one's called, celebrities or something, £5. Celebrations, that's the one.
What celebrities?
Same
chocolate thing. Celebrities.
Celebrations. Now, I remember about 10 years ago, you'd walk out of Tesco's or Morrison's or something with this huge drum under your arm, you know what I mean, and feel, this is my contribution to Christmas Day for the family. Now, you can almost put it in your pocket.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, do you know that if you buy a packet of Maltesers now, right, they are the same price, but they've actually gone down from 121 grams to 103 grams. Now, even you can work out, that's about 25% reduction.
Yes, it is indeed, yeah. So have they more like a 20% reduction, actually?
Well, it's like 25% reduction, I'm saying.
No, it's about 20%.
20% of 120.
Yeah.
All right.
1/5.
Okay.
1/5.
Well, actually, a sixth, actually, if you're going to be completely ridiculous about it.
1/6, could be 18% reduction.
Yeah.
18%.
Yeah.
Right, now, are they making the number of Maltesers in a bag smaller, or are they making the Maltesers individually smaller?
I think they're making the number of the Maltesers in the bag
I
actually
love
smaller.
Maltesers, I think they're great.
Yeah.
And in fact, last night I broke into my Christmas stash of sweets.
Did you?
Because I've accumulated them already. And
this is what I'm thinking. This is why I've been telling you about these
things.
Well,
I'm smarter than the average bear, and I got mine in September. And I'm afraid I got through the first box of licorice all sorts.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, the whole box.
The whole box of licorice all sorts?
I did, yeah.
That's not good for you.
Well,
it's not good for you.
Well, you say that, but...
have you seen, by the way, have you seen the new Toblerone bar since they've moved the mountains separately further apart?
I haven't bought one.
Well, you prefer the two-dimensional Toblerone,
yeah,
don't
I do, actually, the big triangle thing. Looks like the triangle used to play at school. Now, are you...
like a triangle used to play at school. A triangle used to play at school did not have chocolate in the middle of it.
No, it's true.
It was actually, it had nothing in the middle.
Same outwardly shape. Now, how do you think the game is going to go at 12:30. Come on, put your money where your mouth is.
Well, I'll tell you exactly where I think the game is going to go. I think that Manchester United are going to come out all guns blazing.
Right.
I think that Mourinho will be assuming that he will probably hold Arsenal and not let them score.
Yes.
Because he'll be packing the defence, right?
Yeah.
But I'm actually going to predict that United are going to be winning at half-time, but that Arsenal will actually win at the end. And so Arsene Wenger will finally beat Jose Mourinho in the Premier League, which he's never done. Yeah. And he will finally also, for the first time in 10 years, win a game at Old Trafford.
Right. Well,
that's what I reckon.
I think United will win. I think that I think Mourinho's still got Kelly's eye on Arsene Wenger.
Kelly's eye?
Yeah, Kelly's eye.
What's that?
It's a famous expression about having the what do you call it? The devil eye.
The hoodoo.
You know what I mean? The hoodoo.
I've never heard that.
The hoodoo.
Where does that come from?
I don't know.
You haven't just made that up?
No, it was
Kelly's eye.
Kelly's eye, yeah, it's a well-known expression about got the drop on him,
yeah,
that sort of thing, and also I don't think Manchester United can afford to lose to Arsenal at home and then retain any credibility as a team to be reckoned with this season.
Yeah, but do you not also think that Jose Mourinho's kind of lustre has been slightly tarnished? I mean, he is not the same guy that first came to Chelsea. He's certainly not even the same guy that came to Chelsea the second time.
Yes,
and he's struggling.
I talked to a psychologist about this because I often do. You
often talk to a psychologist.
Yeah,
probably once a week.
No,
if I were you, I'd be getting treatment quite regularly.
No, sometimes when I'm trying to seek out life's mysteries. And all he said, look, supposing he's lost the touch, suppose he's lost, he compared it to, I think we've said this before, actually, but...
Kelly's eye, basically, by the way, is a bingo nickname.
Was it?
It's got nothing to do with putting the mark of Zorro or anything else on it.
No, I think it has. What I was going to say is, in the same way that somebody can write 4 great hit songs and then never write a great song again, could that have happened to Jose Mourinho?
Well,
could he simply have just fallen behind what new managers like Pochettino have come up with, and he's not kept pace because he's got older and he's set in his ways.
And he hasn't been able to move with the times, very possibly. I mean, we talk about Wayne Rooney not being the player that he was. Jose Mourinho may not be the manager that he was.
Well, that's absolutely right.
And players also have changed. Players who are now much more worldly wise. They're talking to their agents all the time. They're talking to their people.
Absolutely right.
Their PR men, who I'm sure are telling them, if Mourinho says this to you, this is how you react.
Yes.
It's no longer, Mourinho goes into a dressing room, frightens everybody into kind of being kowtowed to him.
You could be absolutely right.
And the world has changed.
Yes,
and I wonder, and we see, I also favour the fact that I believe something very, very strange happened at Chelsea, which we still don't know the truth about, which has affected him personally and professionally, and continues to.
Yeah. Also, he's upset Ronald Koeman.
Has he?
No. Ronald Koeman has upset Jose by publicly saying Memphis Depay, we'd have him here. He's, of course, a Manchester United player on loan. And even discussing the idea of Wayne Rooney maybe one day going back to Everton. Yeah. Jose doesn't like it. I say to Jose, tough luck,
Well, Jose has gone a bit Bobcat Bob, hasn't he, honest? He's told us that we don't show him enough respect.
He did, yeah.
Show him some respect. Now...
He actually said, if somebody asked me about a player, my answer is the player belongs to another team. If it was me making those comments about an Everton player, I'd be in trouble.
Yeah, OK.
Well, it's not you making the comments about Everton players, so put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Right. Now, here's one from somebody who doesn't give a name, unfortunately. Can I get a shout-out from the two mics? On the M6 toll, driving up with my dad to see the mighty Everton face Bobcat Bob.
Oh, what is it? Oh,
is Porky's executive seat going free today? If so, how much is he selling it for?
No, don't worry. Things are being looked after, but it's good to hear that you're on the way up to Goodison. I do hope the M6 are going to treat you right. If I were you, I'd come off at the A41, which is junction...
Don't follow his directions.
No, sorry,
you
come
do,
off
you'll
at the
never
A5.
Get there.
Come off at the A5.
M69 triangle.
No, never mind the M69 triangle. You want to avoid that. No, if you come
looks
off...
like a Toblerone.
If you come off just after the end of the M6 Expressway, which is £5.50, the toll road.
He's on, yeah.
Oh, right, OK, that's £5.50. You come over there.
I've seen the time, by the way.
And then it's 200 yards. Don't worry about the time for the second.
He's now crashed the
I'm
car.
trying to help one of our listeners. And then about 300 yards after the end of the expressway is the A5. Come off there. You head north, south, east, west. You head west. You come to the... Just shut up for a minute. You come to the Telford roundabout, turn right and go all the way up the A41 to almost to Chester. On the outskirts of Chester,
what are you taking that way for?
Hang on, you pick up the M53.
That's ridiculous.
Which takes you down the Wirral to Goodison Park.
That is the probably worst set of directions you've ever heard in your life. Do not follow those, whatever you do.
It's not.
Where is my mind? Where is my mind? Where is my mind?
This is the warm-up on TalkSport. We are the two Mikes. Manchester United get underway in just under an hour from now at Old Trafford against Arsenal. No Wayne Rooney, Mr. Parry.
No Wayne Rooney, and we don't know what the reason for that is. We don't know whether it's as a result of the events that happened when he was with England, or whether he's sustained that knee injury, apparently stepping on a bottle he came out the shower, or whether...
Well, he is on the bench, though, so, I mean, presumably he's able to play. Maybe they just don't think he can play 90 minutes.
I think that's right, mate. I think sometimes if you've had a niggle of an injury, and that's all apparently it was, and it's probably cleared up, then, don't risk it from the start or something like that. Or maybe Jose Mourinho's strategy against Arsenal is that he wouldn't have played Wayne anyway.
Well, he started with Rashford, which would suggest that he's hoping to have a go, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and a real go at it, you know what I mean? I mean... The strangest thing is that there was a newspaper report this morning that actually the reason why he was in the hotel and met all these people, the piano and all that, is he didn't want to go out with the rest because he didn't want to get himself photographed in a compromising position. So it's a terrible irony, isn't it, that, he did the right thing, but it turned out the wrong way, really.
Well, that was probably more to do with the fact he stayed out till 5 a.m. and was pictured looking rather pie-eyed.
But he didn't, did he? That was the hotel. And I think, in fairness...
Well, he was out.
Well, no, but in fairness...
It doesn't matter if he's in the hotel, he was out.
Yeah, but in fairness, what I'm saying is he felt safe and secure within the confines of what was England-designated territory, you know what I mean?
No.
So I think he dropped his guard on that basis, perhaps.
I think he did.
But he didn't end up in a London nightclub, did he? Which would have been a horrendous scandal or anything like that,
No, I don't know about that. Yeah. I still think he was very, very ill-advised. Whatever he did.
Well, maybe... Well, the reason we're playing this is some amazing news.
You're not going to tell everybody that JR is your hero and that you modelled your life on him or anything, are you?
Well, I did, actually. I mean,
in
case anybody's never picked up on that, a lot of my life and my success in my life was stimulated by J.R. Ewing when I watched...
Who is, of course, a fictional character.
Yeah, but I watched Dallas from the age of about 18 to about 25 or something. I thought, that's the man I want to be in life.
Really?
I want to be ruthless and successful and a winner.
And shot.
Women throwing themselves at me and flying around in...
How did that work out for you?
Airplanes. Yeah, it all worked out very well, thank you. But anyway, listen...
The only thing you got in common with JR is a lot of people want to kill you.
Well, that's not very nice, is it? Don't encourage people.
No, I don't want to do that.
But anyway, look, what I discovered over the last sort of 12 hours or so, because obviously I do a TV review on TalkSport,
Porky Vision, yeah.
Porky Vision.
Well, some people call it that.
Yeah. Is that Sue Ellen, who of course is Linda... What's her name?
Linda Gray.
Linda Gray, that's it. Linda Gray. Yeah.
Namesake of your sister, of course.
Namesake of my sister. Yeah, Mr. Brazil very kindly branded my sister, Sue Ellen.
This was due to the amount she drinks, right?
Well, no, it was one-off. It was a one-off occasion when we were at some sort of TalkSport do, and she had a few, as you do when you're winding down.
Sure.
But no, I suddenly discovered that Sue Ellen's next appearance will be, believe it or not, and I was there only 2 weeks ago, in Hollyoaks, which is filmed in Chester.
Isn't Hollyoaks,
which is my hometown,
famous for having a sort of selection of what you might call rather voluptuous young women?
I think.
What's Linda Gray going to do?
Super Totty, I think it was called, and I didn't call it that, by the way.
Sexist.
No, somebody else did, and of course I never refer to it as
no,
that.
You can't.
I mean, these are extremely glamorous women.
That's what I mean. So, I mean, Linda Gray, without wishing to be unkind, must not be, on the wrong side of 70 by now, isn't she?
She's way on the... I think she's 78.
Really?
And, but that doesn't matter.
78?
When a woman's
What's she going to do in Hollyoaks?
Well, she's going to be, isn't she? She's going to be a sort of Joan Collins type character, monitoring the young girls and
Joan Collins' mother,
and trying to keep them on the straight and narrow and all that kind of stuff, giving sage words of advice about
she's going to be an American,
and all that.
She?
Yeah, she's going to be, because I mean, Chester's a very sophisticated city, and millions of Americans go there, every year.
Why?
And, well, because it's such an old Roman town, and it's steeped with history and all that kind of stuff. They like it, and they go there.
Maybe Bobcat Barb will pop in there on the way back from Goodison.
Maybe you've got a Browns at Chester, and buy himself some radar gear.
Make some space.
Yeah, make some space, that's right, yeah. But I thought that was brilliant because when, for instance, Barbara Windsor, her whole career is now about her role in EastEnders as the landlady of the Queen Vic, right? Whereas before she got into a TV series, her whole career was about Carry On Camping.
Yes, I suppose so.
And the Carry On films and all that kind of stuff. You see
Yeah.
what I mean? And you just completely reinvent yourself and come
Well,
back
hang on.
to
When
it.
did Dallas stop being made, though? I mean, there's been a big gap between Dallas ending and Hollyoaks beginning.
Huge.
Didn't they try and
30 years.
Didn't they try and revamp it for a while and it didn't really work
What
out?
they did was they tried to start it again, and they had the sons of Dallas. You know what I mean? So JR's son and Bobby's son. They were then running the empire, and it just didn't take off because how can you replace it? If if they filmed Peaky Blinders with the sons of the current Peaky Blinders, it just couldn't work.
No.
Because the characters are so
Son of Peaky Blinders. No, it wouldn't
so
work at all.
intricately knitted together. You know what I mean?
Now, let me give you a few of the communications that we've received
Oh,
on
yeah.
Twitter. Here's one from Megan who says, "Cheers, Porky, for predicting a Man United win. If the curse of Porky strikes, I will find you the next time you come to do a show in Manchester."
Well, you know where we'll be. I'll be up on stage, so I'll put my head above the parapet, pal. But
That's from Megan, by the way.
Hey?
Why are you calling her pal?
Oh, is that Megan, a lady? Oh,
yeah.
Megan, thank you very much indeed.
So
That's
now
very
you're going to
kind of
change your tune, aren't you? So you were all ready to be horrible to
No.
her until you found out it was a lady.
No.
They speak differently to ladies.
No.
How about this from Kai? Celebrities, straight from the Chocolate Journal.
Eh?
Hashtag plank.
Oh, yeah, I see what you
Instead
mean.
of,
Yeah,
instead of celebrations.
That's right, yeah. No, that's
Now,
absolutely right.
here's
yeah.
a good one from Retarding Mexico. It says, makes you
Okay.
wonder whether Rooney was really injured at all, since he's on the bench and very possibly will play.
Well, I think the incident with the bottle outside the shower must have taken place because it has been reported in several different from several different sources,
Yeah.
and it's not like somebody's rung up and said, "Oh, it didn't happen." I think it did.
All right.
I think,
Just two more. Rob says, how to confuse an entire nation. Head up the M6 and go north, south, east, west.
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
Tom. It's more like plank.
Well, you know what I'm talking about.
Now, now we haven't got much time on this show. It's a very short show, so you can't monopolise it too much like you normally do.
want
Because
to.
now it's time for the 1 minute moan.
Excellent.
How long has this been going on? How long has this been?
Now, I don't know whether you've prepared something to moan about. I mean,
Yeah.
we all know you've been on a secret mission all week, which
have,
obviously
yeah.
you can't mention.
No, I
So you
can't.
can't moan about that.
I can't.
Have you got something prepared?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
All right, would you like to kick it off then?
I'll kick it off, yeah.
All right, then you've got 1 minute starting from now.
Right, thank you very much indeed. Now, I like a croissant, okay? I really do love a croissant. And sometimes, if we've got a day when we're not perhaps working late at night or we haven't got a show first thing in the morning, I will actually go out early with the specific intention of getting to a shop that's baked fresh croissants, okay? Because I love fresh croissants,
Yes.
and they're great. And I put bacon in them or ham or something
Bacon?
like that. Yeah.
Right.
Really lovely. Now, this moan, is that the problem is, in this country, because we're not France, we're England, you cannot get a fresh croissant after 11 a.m. in the morning.
What are you talking about?
Well, you can't.
That's rubbish.
No, a lot of supermarkets now have their own bakeries, right? And you
Yeah.
go in, you smell the beautiful bread being baked and all that. The croissants are only fresh for about 2 or 3 hours. By 11 o'clock, and even worse, 12, 1, 2, 3, the croissants get harder and tougher and leathery, and they're not worth buying at 2 or 3 o'clock. And when I last asked for a discount on croissants, which were still sitting in the same basket at 3 in the afternoon that they'd been in at 7 a.m. in the morning, I was refused.
You asked for a discount.
I did, yeah, honestly.
On croissants?
Yes, I did.
Which cost how much?
85p.
How much of a discount did you ask for?
I said I will take 4 for £1. I did. I'm serious.
And how much was your car?
Well, that's what I've got to do. That's irrelevant.
Well,
It's irrelevant.
you want
But-
you want a quarter price
not-
croissants, but you won't quite happily spend 50 grand on a car.
But not only are they, not worth buying at that price in the afternoon, they are tough when you get them home. You have to cut the edges off. You have to cut the ends off because they've gone completely hard.
It's a 1 minute moan, this, by the way.
Yeah, and then-
You're already into the second minute.
And then just take the centre of the croissant
All
as
right.
edible.
Well, be quiet, because once again, you are completely and utterly governed by unenlightened self-interest. It's all about you. Mine will be something different. You ready?
Yeah, go on.
My 1 minute moan is not about something that has upset me personally or affects me personally, but it's about something that upsets and affects the country as a whole, right?
Oh, what a hero.
We've been watching all the things that have been going on in America for the
Yes.
many of the last couple of weeks when Donald Trump has been elected the 45th president.
Yes.
We've taken many good things from America and we have accepted many things from America, but I will not accept Black Friday, right? Black Friday, which is next Friday,
What is it?
November the 25th, which is this supposed shopping day
Right.
where everybody goes rushing into the shops
Yeah.
and buys things at a huge discount,
Oh,
right?
fighting each other for televisions and all that kind of stuff.
It's a con,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It does not exist as a discount for anything. The only reason it's called Black Friday is because in America it's the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Right.
We do not celebrate Thanksgiving in
No,
this
we
country. I used to because I had an American wife and my kids are American, but we do not celebrate Thanksgiving. We should not have Black Friday.
Right.
And by the way, this year for the first time, it started a week early. So people have gone, oh, it's a pre-Black Friday sale.
Right.
So you can go and buy stuff.
Pre-Black Friday.
You can buy a cheap sofa, you can buy a cheap television, you can buy a cheap fridge.
Yeah.
It's shocking. It's
That's
nonsense.
That's it. Thank you.
That's it.
Shut up.
Thank you very much. I think mine was better.
Mine was better.
Really?
Croissants. Everybody loves a croissant, but not a stale croissant.
Everybody loves a parasite. We just hate cut rate ones. That's your problem.
Let's get physical, physical. I wanna get physical. Let's get into physical. Let me hear your body talk. Your body talk.
Is this another song from Porky's sort of favourite discs of the 70s?
No, it's not. No,
Hey?
what it is what I found out from some of the health journals that have come my way. That if you look like the guy in Mad Men, John, what's his name?
I've never actually watched Mad Men.
Big tall fellow.
I know
with
the guy you mean,
Very
yeah,
handsome,
yeah.
John, whatever his name is. Well, I mean,
John, what's his name?
Yeah, I used to see him going to the gym, even though gyms weren't around in the 60s, really, were they?
They weren't really, no.
All that kind of stuff. But anyway, the point is, the better you look physically in your job, the more prospects you have of getting promotion.
Is this for men or for women?
It's for men.
Because, I mean, isn't it time that the old pendulum swung back? Because
Yes.
women have had to suffer from this sort of prejudice for years.
Absolutely.
You know, if you're a good-looking woman,
Yeah.
You get much further in the world
It's
than
true.
if you're not such a good-looking woman.
I think there is an element of truth to that, although obviously women's brains must never be underrated and that
Certainly
kind of stuff.
not.
And
That
it
would
must
be
not be just a
horrendously sexist if you were to do that.
exactly, must not be a physical thing. But no, this report I've seen says researchers at Strathclyde.
Strathclyde, we're going up to Glasgow soon in December,
say that if your body mass index is around 8% less than those around you,
Right.
you will be in a much healthier and more favourable position with your bosses.
You've never been in that situation, have you?
Hey?
Your BMI has never been 8% lower than anyone around you.
Of course it has.
Absolute
There
rubbish.
were some very fat
Not unless
people.
you're standing in a room with the Fijian rugby squad.
Hang on, don't you remember some of the fat oafs that we worked with in Fleet Street? What was the name of the animal?
Hey?
Remember the animal?
What,
who worked
Colin
on the
Adamson?
evening- Colin
He
Adamson.
wasn't fat.
God, he was huge,
He
man.
used to drink. He was a guy who I once was on a plane with, right?
Yes,
When you
yeah.
could still smoke on planes.
That's right, yeah.
And we were all in. It was a European plane. We were coming back from Malaga, I think.
Yeah.
We'd been on a job down there.
Yes.
And some woman who was sitting in first class objected to the fact that he was smoking, even though he was allowed to smoke,
Yes.
and he was sitting in a smoking seat.
Yeah.
So he put 8 cigarettes in his mouth and lit them all at the same time.
Yeah, really,
Just to
yeah.
continue to annoy her.
He was like that. He was
horrible.
horribly aggressive.
Yeah.
He threatened to...
Not a bad man, actually, though.
when drink, he could be very difficult, believe me. He used to
Oh,
smash
I
ashtrays
know.
in pubs and all
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
yeah.
It says here, by the way, that you've got to get
I
the
don't know why
balance
you've singled
right.
him out, by the way.
Well, only because he was a very fat man.
He wasn't.
Well, I thought he was.
Really?
But it says here, the thing is, if you get off to the gym and you do all that, don't go too underweight because there's another element, and it's called the portly banker effect.
Portly banker.
The portly banker.
Yeah.
And
That's the look I've been going for.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what we've both been going for. And this means that if you're taller and you've got a bit more weight,
Yeah.
you've got like that sort of body shape.
Yes.
Okay, that exudes power and
Yes.
authority.
Well,
And-
as I say to people, you
Yeah.
know, who criticise the way I look, I've
Yeah.
spent a hell of a lot of money
Yeah.
looking like this. I mean, the amount of booze and
That's
food
right,
and
yeah.
expensive restaurants that I've been to over the
Yeah,
years.
exactly,
I can
yeah.
tell you, I would be a millionaire if I was a vegetarian and a teetotaler.
Well, maybe you would be, but it says, consequently, underweight men lack such an aura. And this can explain wage differences of 7 to 8% between those who've got the right body shape in an office and those who don't
Yes.
have the right body shape. I mean,
You're obsessed with body shape, though, aren't
well, I'm not really obsessed
You
about
are?
it. I know exactly what they mean. I mean, you've got to remember, I was like one of the fittest guys in Fleet Street
Rubbish.
for a good 20 years.
Absolute cobblers.
When I was still playing football and all that.
you? I don't remember any of that.
Oh, well, I
It
do.
must be before I met you.
I mean, do you remember we had a bloke here once called, well, I won't tell his name, it's a bit unfair.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
What does it start with?
his initials were DR. Sorry,
Okay.
what's wrong?
Go on.
You know.
Well, people will be able to work that one out.
And he was like...
He was a doctor.
No, it wasn't a doctor. No. It was D something and then
Hurry
R
up,
something.
please.
You know,
It's only a 2-hour show, this.
But this guy, honestly, was he was height challenged. I mean, I think he was about 5 foot or
Right.
something like that.
Really?
Yeah, very nice chap and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But he would, in other ways, try to seek influence in the office. For instance, he was the only guy in and he sat over in sort of an executive area, you know what I mean? He was the only guy in that area who would constantly put his phone on speakerphone with a machine and, lean back in his chair and speak into the air, you know what I mean? Like he was in a car.
Yeah.
And it used to irritate the hell out of everybody around him, but he did this to sort of boost his ego.
Yeah.
So this thing about small man syndrome, it can be true. It didn't stop...
you would know.
No, I wouldn't know anything about it. It didn't stop Napoleon. Didn't stop...
he was quite normal, wasn't he?
Yeah, it didn't stop... who's the guy who runs Formula 1 motor racing?
Bernie Ecclestone.
Bernie Ecclestone. Certainly didn't stop him, one of the richest men in the world.
Yeah.
But it can have a downside effect. So just watch that when you're thinking about your body shape.
Thank you very much indeed for that piece of advice. Just 10 minutes away from the kick-off at Old Trafford. We'll be going up there very shortly. Manchester United taking on Arsenal. Of course, it's Jose Mourinho against Arsene Wenger. Very exciting stuff. On the subject of Barb, Daz the man says, Porky's not going to watch Everton today, so they will win. Hashtag Porky jinx in reverse.
Well, I'm afraid that it's very difficult to get up to Goodison when we're on air here in the London studios till 1. But I'm hoping, actually, to get up for the Manchester United game, which is a Sunday game.
Oh, are you?
4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon.
When is that?
It's in a couple of weeks, I think.
Is it?
I think it's, because next week I'm going to Southampton on the Sunday. Everton, Southampton.
They'll be playing in the red and white stripes, of course.
They'll be playing the red and white stripes, that's right.
The kit that you thought they'd given up.
Yeah.
Even though you were seeing them playing in red and white stripes last time you were there.
Well, I'm sure I was. Now, I'm just going to titillate the audience by telling them that when we leave the studio today, we won't actually be parting.
We won't be, no. I've
I've
rather rashly allowed the mother of my children to invite you for the first time to Graham Towers.
Absolutely.
Down in the wilds of Sussex.
And I'll be staying there, will I?
Well, I mean, what the plan is that you follow me down there, right? My secret plan is to lose you on the way.
Yeah, but you see, there's things called sat-nav these days, so I'm going to turn up anyway. All
right?
Are you? It's a family birthday party.
It is indeed. My daughter, who has spoiled rotten, always has been, had her birthday actually on Wednesday.
Right.
I took her out on Wednesday for dinner.
Yeah.
I also took her out last Friday for dinner.
Yes.
And I also took her out last Saturday for dinner.
Oh, well done.
And now she's getting more presents this weekend.
Right.
So it's just absolute sort of shambles.
And I'll be staying at Shea.
You will be. Yes, you will.
Yeah.
I hope you brought your own slippers because I haven't been able to find any for you.
Sorry, I have a room in the residence, do I?
Actually, no. We've put you in the adjoining cottages because I thought you might prefer that. Why are you looking at me like that?
So you're putting me in a shack?
Well, it's not. No, it's a very, very well appointed, very well appointed. Central heating, television. We'll be in the big house.
And you always accuse me of being, unsociable and putting you in a hotel when you're down on the coast. The only reason I do that is to give you more room and space and all that kind of stuff. But you're putting me in a shack in the bottom of the garden.
I've always thought that you would prefer to be in your own space, right? I didn't think you'd want children jumping on you. It's not a shack. It's a very well appointed, only just now completed, beautiful
cottage.
They've
just put a roof on it, have they?
No, they've just made it. It's a new build. It's basically something that you would love. I think you'll like it. I think you'll be fine. Yeah. But you're far enough away as well. So that if necessary,
I hope I'm far enough away.
If necessary, if we disappear
anyway,
first thing in the morning, and you won't notice.
Listen, it'll be nice to see your dog. I haven't met your Labrador.
You've never
dog,
met Ziggy, have you?
No, so that's great.
Yeah.
So
it'll be very interesting to see whether he likes you. Because remember the guy that used to have the dog here?
Yes.
The black lab.
Yes.
Who, when I came in, literally was all over me because he could see that I was a dog person. I was a lab man.
Yes.
You came in and he suddenly went mad, started barking, he's baring his teeth.
Some dogs are just a bit thick because the previous dog,
very harsh, that.
who was called Brandy, absolutely adored me.
That was because you kept feeding him.
Well, that's true. But listen, I have come across a report.
Yes.
I mean, will Ziggy, literally be sitting on the doormat as you arrive home?
He will, yeah, because I am in many ways his god.
Right, okay.
Because I'm the leader of the pack.
All right. Now, do you know why that is? Do you know why the dog is? It's not because he can hear your car from like 30 miles away, because dogs have got fantastic hearing.
They have got fantastic hearing, and smell.
And smell. It's not that he can smell your odour from 2 miles away. Yeah. It is, in fact, that dogs can tell the time, they've discovered.
He just looks at the clock.
No. Don't be silly. No, he doesn't look at a clock, you idiot. What happens is...
the speaking clock.
No. Dogs can actually tell by things that happen during the day at the same time exactly how the day's going and what time their owner is expected home.
Well, you see, that would only work in my case if he was able to move with the time, because I don't always turn up at the same time. It's not always the case. I mean, my life, since I've started working with you again, has become a complete roller coaster of madness.
Yes, sure.
So he never knows when I'm coming.
Well,
and neither neither do my children, so thanks a lot for that.
No, but on a Saturday he might now know that you are due home, sort of an hour and a half after the show.
No, because last
like
Saturday I didn't come home, because last Saturday we were doing a show on Sunday.
Yeah.
So I stayed up here. The previous Saturday, he wasn't sure exactly what time, because we had an extra hour.
Yeah.
So, it's a mad, chaotic world he now lives in.
This report, which was done at Barnard College, Columbia.
Columbia? What do you mean Columbia, like as in Medellin?
No, Columbia University in New
Columbia,
York.
New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it says many owners have noticed the phenomenon, that their pet is waiting at the door by the time they come back from work.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Now it says.
Well, of course they would be. I mean, if you leave the dog at home.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's going to be waiting at the door when there's nobody there.
Yes.
What else is he going to be doing?
Now, this
He's
expert...
not going to be making the dinner, is he?
This expert, who's called, by the way, Dr. Horowitz.
What's wrong with that?
Well, isn't that a German field gun, Horowitz?
No, I don't think so. No, that's a howitzer.
Oh, it's a howitzer. Okay, yeah. So Dr. Horowitz...
Dr. Howitzer.
Yeah, he's written a book. It's called Being a Dog.
Right.
So I'm not sure he's qualified to write that.
Yep.
But anyway, he says, when I walk with my dogs and I let them stop and sniff the ground, I'm appreciating that while... I see the same block, they are seeing something that changes. With all the activities of the last day, they see the people, dogs, vehicles that have passed by. You can analogize it to a visual picture. When I walk into a room, there is a huge amount of visual information. We take it in smoothly and not overwhelmed.
This guy's got an even more ridiculous job than we've got.
Yeah.
What is wrong with
He
it?
said, but if I walk in as an olfactory creature...
What?
An olfactory creature.
What's that?
Well, it's an olfactory. O-L-F-A-C-T-O-R-Y. Olfactory.
I've never heard of that one.
It's a creature who has a passing mind. You see what I mean? Not a cemented mind.
Not a cemented mind.
I suspect it also appears with an olfactory picture. Okay.
I've no idea what that means.
Well, you better look up the word olfactory and then perhaps
You
work
haven't
it out.
explained it very well.
But unlike visual senses, smell has a temporal aspect too. So tracking dogs have the ability to tell the direction of a missing person by the difference in concentration between the odour of the first footstep and the fifth.
So,
right?
in other words, the
Yeah.
dog recognises the owner when it comes home. Point ends.
no.
That's the survey.
No.
That's the study. That's 15 years of his life wasted.
No.
What a plank.
No, it's like this.
Old Howitzer should have
right.
done something else, I think.
It's like this. If a dog...
You've seen the time, by the way.
Yeah,
We've got half an hour to go.
A dog knows when breakfast's finished, because if a dog goes and sniffs the... what's the thing that you wipe cutlery up with?
dishcloth.
Yeah. If a dog goes and smells
Or
a
a
dishcloth...
tea towel.
A tea towel. I'm thinking of tea towel. If the dog goes and smells the tea towel when it's dry, that is one smell.
Yeah.
But then an hour later, the dog sniffs the tea towel and sees that it's wet. So the dog works out, that means breakfast has come
What
and
if you've got
gone.
a dishwasher?
Well, the dog would still smell the odour coming out of the dishwasher,
What a load of rubbish.
from the dishwasher powder and all that kind of
What
stuff.
a load of rubbish.
Dogs tell the time by the smell,
Right.
by the changing odour of the house
And
during
you
the
tell
day.
the time by all your 26 different watches.
I tell the time by the one watch I wear on my wrist.
What are you wearing today?
Swatch. My blue Swatch. No, it's one of my best watches, yeah.
I know, that's the tragedy. That's great, isn't it? Storm Angus is going to hit the southeast just as
Storm
you're
Angus.
in that shack
Yeah.
near my big manor
That's
house.
right, yeah, blow the shack away. I wake up with no roof.
Yeah, you have to batten down the hatches.
Seen this, some of these tweets and texts that were coming in. They're very rude. This one here.
Well, a lot of
says,
them are coming down in favour of me yet again
it
on the
says-
1 minute moan.
It says the fat man has a 3-minute moan about his own life. So I've always regarded you as the fat man of the relationship.
Yeah, I know,
mean,
but that's
think
because
they're
you
referring
see
to me.
things through rose-coloured spectacles.
And then makes this ludicrous assertion and still can't come close to the intelligence of old MG.
Well, I mean, he's obviously a very astute
Bobcat
man.
for the win.
Yeah. How about this one from the Colchester IDs? He says, I think the Black Friday rant wins. After all, Mr. Parry, you shouldn't even be eating croissants with your dicky heart.
Well, I love a croissant. I love a fresh butter croissant.
How about this from Pete?
Ham
A
and
property
cheese in
empire,
it.
a penthouse, flash 2-seater sports car, and Porky's trying to blag 4 croissants for £1.
Well, I think that I'm doing them a favour, because otherwise, if people don't buy them, they just get thrown out. It's a terrible waste, honestly.
Yeah.
And I pointed out to the manager of the place I was in. I said, "Why don't you?"
What was the place you were in?
I don't wish to say.
Cost Cutter.
No, it was not Costco. I do not wish to say. By the way, have you read the most horrifying story of the week in some of the newspapers this morning?
What's that?
A person who goes to the dentist and a 3.5-inch bolt is dropped down his throat.
What?
By the dentist.
What?
Yeah, honest
No.
to God.
Where'd
Yeah.
the bolt come from? The dentist's neck.
It's not quite sure. I think it was it was part of the machine.
It must have been part of some big machine. Though,
That's
right?
what I mean. The dentist was putting it in his mouth. And when I
Blimey.
say bolt, by the way, not a bolt that you could sort of stop in your throat. It was as thin as a needle sort of thing, and it slipped straight down the patient's
Deary me. And was it something that he was aware of while it happened? Or
Yeah.
did it only,
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
you know how sometimes if you're under some kind of anaesthetic or you've had a load of Novocaine,
Yes,
you can't feel anything.
It was a lady. It was a lady patient. I can't remember. I saw it now, but local anaesthetic meant, you're absolutely right, Mrs. Snarry, S-N-A-R-Y.
Snarry?
Snarry, yeah.
Well, why is the name important?
Well, because it's mentioned in this report I've just located on my magic information machine. Local anaesthetic meant Ms. Snarry did not feel the sharp pin file fall into her mouth.
You see, I told you, that's the question I asked you, and you denied it. I said, did she know that it was happening at the time? You said yes. Well, turns out she didn't.
No, she did, but not because she could feel it with the anaesthetic, because obviously the dentist alerted her to it and told her to turn on the side.
Well, don't you think if you swallowed a bolt, you'd realise you had?
The first she realised was when it lodged in her throat and she started to choke. Right. So you would realise you've got something in your throat if you're choking.
I think so, yeah.
She says a dentist failed to dial 999, instead decided to drive her to hospital. By the time they got there, the implement had damaged her vocal cords and reached her upper stomach. Surgeons had to operate to remove the file before it caused further damage.
Goodness gracious.
She was unable to speak for nearly a week and lost her temporary job because she needed to take so much time off.
Blimey.
I mean, blimey.
Imagine if that happened to you. I'm unable to speak for a week.
Oh, dear me. Well, the world had closed down,
I think people
wouldn't
would be volunteering to chuck a bolt down your throat if that was the case.
But I mean, isn't it 3 centimetres long? Yeah. A steel tool that a dentist dropped down the throat.
She's suing him. I presume she's suing him.
I don't know. I suppose we'll not get into that area of the story. But I mean, goodness gracious me, I have to say.
Yeah.
Whew.
Absolutely horrendous.
I mean, it's actually worst nightmare. That's even worse than old Marathon Man, isn't it?
Hey?
No, it's not worth the marathon.
I think so. No. A member of the Nazi brigade drilling your teeth. It's for the purposes of torturing you. I think it'd probably be slightly worse.
And drilling into fresh. Let's find a fresh nerve, a nice fresh nerve, and no anaesthetic. And
is it safe?
Oh my God!
Is it safe?
Oh my God!
You remember that?
No, I can't watch that film.
Is it safe?
Is that what he kept saying?
He kept saying, "Is it safe?"
Yeah. Did we ever find out at the end of the film what it was all about?
Never knew.
Never knew.
He kept saying, "What are you talking about? I don't know what's safe."
Yeah.
Now, fortunately, Ross has explained the word olfactory in a much more sensible way than you ever did. Right? He says, Mike, olfactory means the sense of smell and how mammals use it to make sense of the world.
Exactly.
Dogs have very developed olfactory systems.
Exactly.
Well, I just never heard the word before.
Well, you know,
no, that's not what you said.
You're not as well read as I am.
No, that's not what you said.
I did. I said the changing environment, and the changing environment to a dog.
You didn't explain that it was about mammals. You didn't explain that it was not just about dogs.
Well, I assumed you knew that. I assumed your basic intelligence wasn't moron
level. Do you know
level,
I never studied biology? No, do you know that my school we never did biology? So in many ways, a miracle I ever had any children. Well, we had chemistry, we had physics.
I hated biology.
But we never did biology.
You used to cut fish up.
Yeah, my sister told me they used to cut frogs up and stuff.
Oh, God, I hated it. I
cut fish up?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose if you learn how to fillet a fish, that's quite good.
Yeah, I didn't like it much. I didn't like the guy who taught it either. His name was Evans, and he was Welsh.
Evans?
Yeah. He's always saying to me...
Evans, the what would you call him?
Oh, Evans, the biology teacher.
That's what I mean, it doesn't work,
No,
does
it doesn't. No, ology. Yeah.
Evans the fish.
Evansology. And he was always saying...
what was the name of that guy that you had that we always laugh about his name? Yeah. Was it the PE teacher?
Oh, Tom Clamp.
Tom Clamp.
Hey, Tom Clamp here. Hey, he came out on the playing field one time, you know. He said, you know, it was the Friday afternoon, the women's tennis final at Wimbledon used to be on a Friday.
Yeah.
And he goes, hey, fellas, have you heard that Uvon Gooly Gongy Wongy Ongies just won the Wimbledon?
Tom Clamp. What an idiot. Now, how about this from Pete, who's getting a bit carried away. He's going, kill, Ziggy, kill. Porky's sleeping in your doghouse.
Oh, that's very nice. I probably am, actually. It's probably Ziggy's probably getting the blanket at the bottom of the bed.
Mickey has sent a very funny picture in of a rotting old caravan. It looks a bit like that caravan you used to have in North Wales. Is this where you're going to be staying?
This is where I'm going to be staying, indeed.
Very harsh. The thing that we've got to be careful of course, is the bladderation in moderation scenario.
Is the what?
We've got a bottle of Bollinger to start off with, which was very kindly donated by one of our fans earlier in the week.
Was it the Two Mikes fan club?
It was.
It was? Yeah. Well, thank you very much indeed. That's very kind of you.
You won't be drinking that,
The royal
of course,
we is not appropriate, of course, because, of course, I don't drink champagne, so it'll all be guzzled by the Graham side of the family.
That's right. And we've got more than one bottle as well.
More than one bottle, okay.
But I'll tell you what I have got, and I tested it last night, which you're going to love. Yes. Because I remember you telling me that you used to look forward to this every year. I got a whole case of Beaujolais Nouveau.
Oh, it's very nice.
And the Beaujolais Nouveau this year, I have to say,
yeah.
I haven't had it because we used to always drink it, right? It
Yeah.
used to be a big thing.
Yes.
Every November, you would sort of,
Well, you used to go on the Beaujolais run.
Well, there'd be a Beaujolais run, but also
Yeah.
it was a big promotion in lots of restaurants.
That's
I
right.
don't really see that anymore, right?
No, I don't either.
So for last night, I had a bottle of the Beaujolais Nouveau for the first time, I would say, probably in about 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
Well, do you know, years ago when I was on the Express, we used to send somebody on the Beaujolais run every
Yeah, I
year.
remember that,
and they used to organise this, rally car.
Yeah.
And you literally...
In fact, Ross Benson used to go on it, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, I went on it one year with a group of other guys. We had a what would you call now, people carrier.
Oh, yeah.
And they sling in a
God, that
case
must
of
have been messy.
Well, he was messy. They sling in a case of Beaujolais in the back of the people carrier. You get going. You literally drive to Paris, but all you're doing is drinking all the way. That's all you do. Right now, then next week, of course, we're back on TalkSport.
Yes, we are.
I'm still
secret mission continues.
I'm still on the secret mission next week,
Yeah.
so it's going to be dodgy for me again.
It's going to be difficult.
But I handled it very well this week.
Actually, you did. I mean, I do have to say, without wishing to upset
Yes.
people by being too friendly to you, I mean, I
Yeah.
did take your hat up to your work ethic, to your ability to work for days on end without any sleep at all.
Indeed.
How's the back, by the way?
The back's getting better, thank you.
Yeah.
It is pepping up, so that's one good thing about it.
Excellent. Well, all we
Right.
can hope for now is a clear run down
Indeed.
to the south of the country,
Indeed.
and I hope that the gales don't
Yeah, that's
absolutely
right,
blow
yeah.
everything away. You might get trapped down there. We'll have to do the show from down there Monday night.
Listen, mate,
There's a lot of trees around there.
don't worry about that. If I need
I'm not
to-
worried about it.
If I need to buy a tractor and a bulldozer to get out, I will.
Well, you can just use my 4x4 because I can drive over anything. This is